I hope you're ready to calculate because today I have 4 very tricky puzzles for you to try to solve. Now I urge you to pause the video on each one of these and take these seriously as good training exercises, and comment down below in the end how many you get correct. This is coming from Chess Calculation Training Middlegames. We are finishing our chapter 3, which talks about unexpected blows on the chessboard. So essentially a position that looks okay but nothing special, but there exists a stunning tactic that wins on the spot. Now the first example of this is on the screen right now. White to play. How can you win in this position? Now the winning move here is the brilliant bishop takes on g6. Now the queen is undefended, so if they capture back, well, we're going to win their queen. Now the issue for them is they can try to first trade, and sure, if we take, they take, we just gave away a bishop for no reason, but here's the key. We now continue with our sacrifice. Bishop takes h7, this was the point. After king takes, now we recapture, and suddenly it's very problematic for them to defend mate. In fact, it's quite impossible here. They have to sacrifice the bishop or something crazy like this, but this is completely game over, and mate is going to be unstoppable. Now we're going to move on to the second example for today. It is still white to move. How can you win this position? Pause the video for some extra time. Here is the solution. The move here is queen takes h6. You sacrifice the queen in such a way that exposes the king completely. It is a pretty well-known fact that a pawn of the same color of a king can usually be a good way to defend the king, but now we blast it open, and it's simply game over. Rook to h1, the king has to come back to g7, we go rook h7, the king has to come to the 8th rank, we now take their rook. It's completely... this is a complete domination. We can take their queen, and the cherry on the top is that their rook on a7 is hanging. Now, this is possibly my favorite one from this entire chapter. So not only this video, we've had 2 videos prior to this where we looked at more examples of chapter 3, unexpected blows. This is my favorite of them all. It's just so gorgeous and truly a surprising idea. So white to play here. Pause the video and take some time. The move here is queen to f8. So you sacrifice the queen. Okay, maybe this you thought because you're in the mood of solving puzzles, but what could possibly be the follow-up? The move is knight to g6. Again, you sacrifice the knight. Now, it should be noted that they have to take. If they move their king, then we infiltrate with our rook, and this is simply suicidal for them. After their king moves, we come in with check. Their king moves, we come in with check, we win back the queen. This is completely out of the picture. Now they can take our knight, but the whole point of this idea of sacrificing the queen and then sacrificing the knight is to open up the king and drag it to the center in such a way where now these bishops are going to be too powerful. Bishop a3, a sneaky slide of the bishop, and the king is simply out of squares. They can block, but this does not suffice. We take now. Notice if they take, we're going to mate them, not even take the queen. We're going to simply checkmate. And their best move here is, they can't do anything. They don't have good moves. That's the sad truth. They can, for example, take our bishop, but now we simply take their queen. They can't even take the second bishop because of mate. This is a complete disaster for black. The final one is here, black to move. Pause the video and give this a shot. How do you win? So the win here is knight to d2. Now, these are quite simple in the sense that there's a very obvious target. These light squares is something that I think a lot of you will recognize as weak and targetable. And so, okay, the queen is threatening mate. If they take the knight somehow, we mate them. That makes sense. The tricky part here, though, is they can take our queen, and that is usually not part of the puzzle. What could possibly compensate for them simply having the ability to take our queen? Well, here's the idea. Knight to f3. Their king moves, and then the unbelievable bishop to g2, putting the bishop in harm's way, self-suicide, with the point that after king g2, we take the knight with check, we win back the some of the material, then we're going to win back also the queen, and the cherry on the top is that we also win back the rook in the end. For example, if they take our rook, we can consider taking their rook. In fact, it's even better in this position to just take the knight because they're so undeveloped that if they try to save their rook, we're going to punish them severely by taking their knight here. So it's a complete disaster, and it all comes from this notion that the light squares are weak, and so we want to get pieces that can take control of these light squares, that can harass the king, and I mean, otherwise this fork is just one that you really have to know. So hopefully this video will help you in that pattern recognition. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new around here and enjoy what you're seeing. There's going to be more content just like this coming up. Like the video if you learned something new from it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.